How's it going, everybody? It's CalvertLewin. We are back with another FPL video, and today we are going to be looking at the best captaincy choices for Game Week 21. We have 5 of them lined up for you. 4 normal-ish captains for this week. Obviously, this week is going to be a bit different with a lot of the assets out of the game week due to injury or what have you. And then we have one that's going to be a bit of a differential, or a bit of an out there sort of pick. And some of you may have gone with him last week in game week 20. If you are enjoying the videos, make sure to give it a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure to turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And make sure to drop us a follow over on Twitter and Twitch so you can get all the up-to-date things on videos, as well as when we go live over on Twitch, which we will be doing a deadline stream tomorrow. That's going to be at 5 a.m. EST, 1 hour before the FPL deadline for Game Week 21. So make sure to come check us out for that live over on Twitch. It's PilotFlame226 on Twitch. So without further ado, let's get into the captaincy picks. So the first captaincy choice we have is Heung-min Son. He's been doing quite well this season, 12 goals, 6 assists, and has been doing fantastically since Kane has been in the team. However, he's not going to have Kane, most likely. Kane went off injured, seemed to have injured both of his ankles, got a few rough tackles, and came off at halftime versus Liverpool. So he, may struggle. 59.4% ownership, so quite highly owned. Obviously only getting the 2 points, and has only gotten 1 assist in his last 3 games. 2 points back in game week 20, obviously on the game on Thursday. And he didn't score in the reverse fixture, so a lot of things potentially going up against him. However, for the short period before lockdown of last season, when Kane was out injured, Son played through the middle and did quite well. And then Son got injured for an extended period of time. And then Spurs obviously, didn't do as well without both of them. But Son, when he plays through the middle, is quite good. They just need that sort of creator in there to basically bolster the team or help the team out. Who that's going to be, we don't know. Mourinho brought on Lamela in place of Kane, which seemed a bit weird. Instead of just, you have Carlos Vinicius, who's done quite well in other competitions. Just put him in there, maybe even Bale. Why have those 2 players if you're not going to play them and you're just going to play Lamela, who personally I don't really understand what he actually does. But Son is also on the goals imminent table and also has had 6 big chances in the last 4 matches. So quite good stats overall there in terms of what we want to be seeing out of Heung-min Son, getting in those positions where it's pretty much a guaranteed goal. And he has improved his finishing drastically over the last few seasons and is now what I would consider a clinical finisher. When you see him go in on goal, 1 out of 2 times, if not 2 out of 2 times, he's putting it in the back of the net. So he is versus Brighton, though, who have been quite good defensively and have been underperforming their, goals that they've been conceding. They should be conceding a lot less than what they are. And like I said, they're going to be without Kane. So maybe it's a bit of a risk, but on paper it seems okay. Away from home, I guess Mourinho can kind of sit back and kind of hit them on the break. Depends on what he's going to do with, if Kane's out. But I think Son will play through the middle, which means more in and around the goal action, as it were, for Son, which is good for us fantasy owners. But if you're looking at Captain Son this week, I think he's a fine option. 9.8 million. He's also going to be good for the double game weeks coming up. I think Son should be a good captaincy option this game week. Now the next captaincy option we have here is Mohamed Salah, who currently sits at 12.5 million. He's got 13 goals, 4 assists in the season. However, he hasn't got a single return in the last 6 game weeks. He has scored twice in the FA Cup recently, though, and he did have a goal chalked off versus Spurs in their 3-1 victory. And I think he's just been underperforming a little bit. 3.05 XGI in the last 6 matches. He should be getting more returns than what he has been. And he did score in the reverse fixture versus West Ham. I just think he's been very off it. Liverpool's whole team has been very off it. And when Trent doesn't play well and Robertson don't play well, typically Salah and Mane have to do it kind of on their own. And Salah and Mane need to be getting into positions that Firmino's been getting into. And I think that stems from where Liverpool are winning the ball. It seems like Fabinho could be out longer than they expected, as well as Matip might be out now, so maybe Jordan Henderson's now going to go back into centre-back as well. And I don't think Liverpool can win the ball higher up the pitch like they used to when they had Henderson and Wijnaldum. These sorts of ball-winning midfielders in there to get Salah and Mane higher up the pitch as a starting point. But one thing is that in the reverse fixture, like I said, Salah did score versus West Ham last time out, and the last time he's played West Ham, in the last 3 games that he's played against West Ham in the Premier League, he scored in all of them. So I think he could definitely score versus West Ham, even though they have been quite resolute. And Salah on his day can do quite well against anyone. We know that he's a pretty good finisher. He's also on pens. And it would be like Liverpool to get back into form after beating Spurs. That's probably going to give him a boost. Trent looked back to his best obviously in a one-off isolation game, which can definitely help out the likes of Salah and Mane. And I think Firmino played quite well as well. So if those guys, if the fullbacks are firing and Firmino's doing quite well, that means Salah and Mane's output can definitely only get better. So I think Salah could be a good captaincy option this week, even though he has blanked in recent weeks. But the Egyptian King, he's got the Egyptian King as a title for a reason. He is one of the kings of FPL, if not the king of FPL. So Mohamed Salah probably going to be a good captaincy option this game week. Now the third player on the list is Ilkay Gundogan. He's one of our 4 normal picks for this week, funnily enough. He's been the man in form. I think he scored 7 goals out of the last 8 matches, which is where all 7 of his goals have come from. He got 14 points in Game Week 20, which is a massive, massive score. And he only played 51 minutes. Thought, that's enough. I'll come off, Pep. You put on somebody else. They can go have a run up. He's also tied 3rd for big chances with 5 over the last 6 matches, and is 3rd for shots in the box among all midfielders over the last 6 matches as well. He is the man in form, and Pep Guardiola even mentioned him specifically in his press conference, saying that no, Gundogan's not getting rested. He's been doing well. There's no point in resting him. He's like our guy. He's the one that's been putting away the chances because Jesus hasn't been doing it. Sterling's been a bit hit or miss. Mahrez has been a bit hit or miss. Gundogan's been the one putting him away, even though Mahrez and Sterling did score in the last game week. But, putting away consistently, getting those chances, exceeding his XG by 2.21, he is the most clinical in the entire team. And they need him in the team because he's going to be the one in and around the box making the late runs, causing defenders to kind of have to think twice who they're going to be marking as he decides to enter the box. He's not going to necessarily be the creativity guy that is kind of expected. He has 0 assists, although he can create assists from time to time or create chances for assists. That's mostly going to come from Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, maybe Raheem Sterling, and mostly João Cancello. That's where that's going to come from. He's going to be more the guy to put the ball in the back of the net. 5.7 million as well. If he was the same price as Raheem Sterling, the stats would be a no-brainer saying to pick him over any other City midfielder as well. And last but not least, he's probably on penalties as well. Sterling basically took the ball from him when he missed the penalty, the last one he took. So I'm pretty sure Gundogan is on penalties as well. City haven't got one since De Bruyne has been out, but I'm pretty sure he's on penalties. So 5.7 million looks to be a steal. Me personally, I'm on triple City defense, so I can't get him in. But if you do have him, definite captaincy shout for me versus Sheffield United at home this game week. And the 4th player on our list this week is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Currently sits at 7.6 million. I sold him when he was 7.5, so I'm glad to see his price is going way back down to when he was up at 8 million, and I had to sell him for basically 0.5 cheaper than what he was at the time. He's back down to a more reasonable price. 11 goals, 4 assists. He's all the way up to 34.8% ownership. I believe his ownership was only like 25% yesterday. So people are definitely back on the Everton bandwagon. And why? And they definitely should be. Why shouldn't they be? Is probably the better question. James Rodriguez is back. Digne's back. Doucouré's back from suspension. The only one I think really that they're missing from their full starting lineup is Alan, who should be back in training next week according to Carlo Ancelotti. And their next 4 fixtures are great. They versus Newcastle and Leeds in the next 2. They then have Man United in between that, and then they have Fulham after that. But getting on the Newcastle and Leeds fixtures specifically, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin can get back in form versus these 2 teams, it should be these 2 teams. Newcastle and Leeds, 3rd and 2nd respectively for big chances conceded over the last 6 matches, so a big sample size there. And they're also 5th and 3rd for shots conceded in the box over the last 6 matches, which is something Calvert-Lewin is quite good at. Getting in the box, winning headed chances, scoring headed chances, and scoring one-touch finishes. Even the likes of Carlo Ancelotti thinks that he is very good in terms of his finishing in that regard, and compares him to Filippo Inzaghi quite a lot, actually. So, and Newcastle and Leeds aren't very good from set plays either. Specifically Leeds, who Meslier has been quite shaky, especially on crosses. So, someone like a Digne Calvert-Lewin double up this week could be quite good. good, even next week as well. I think CalvertLewin's going to be doing quite good this week. He's a definite captaincy option. I'm looking to bring him into my team this week for someone like Chris Wood or Bamford, who's been underperforming, and I think it wouldn't be a shock to see him on the score sheet this game week. Now, this is probably the more differential-ish pick. I mean, 5.9 million for a defender. Yes, Cancello is my 5th captaincy option for this week. That shows you how many captains are actually out, and there's going to be a wide open battle to see who can actually get it. I don't have Bruno Fernandes on here. United haven't, convinced me, recently that they can do it. There have been some pretty, close calls. Cancello has shown me what he can definitely do. 86 points overall this season, 1 goal, 2 assists. Could have way more than that. And I think he's finally got his big hole. He can now kick on from here and continue to get more and more returns. City see how they play with him as he slots into that half space number 8 role. And he's basically City's best left and right back. They kind of use him as an auxiliary midfielder alongside Rodri at times, and he's one of the main creators alongside Phil Foden in that Manchester City team. He's also second for big chances created over the last 6 matches with 3, and has 10 chances created in the last 6 matches. So overall, a lot of creativity is coming through him, and that's mainly because he's picking up the slack for the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, who has been out injured. So I think that João Cancelo, somebody is looking to get somebody quite cheap in midfield or up front, and thinking I need some attacking returns. I think João Cancelo could be better than all of those and better priced at the moment, even at 5.9 million. Very, very good for his price point. If you had a 5.9 midfielder that was doing what João Cancelo is doing on a regular basis, I'd be bringing him in without even thinking. Same with Gundogan, his numbers are also insane. So, and City, it's just an added bonus that he's basically playing as an attacking number 8, and he can get clean sheets as well. It's basically like Robertson and Trent, except he costs $1.5 million less. So I think definitely Cancelo is someone that you could potentially captain this week. They're versus Sheffield United, who are probably going to be tired after playing Manchester United. So I think that definitely he can do well and is a viable captaincy option this game week. And that's going to do it for our captaincy choices, the best captaincy choices in my opinion for Game Week 21. If you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the videos, make sure to leave a like on it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And drop us a follow over on Twitter and Twitch so you can keep up to date with all the content that is coming out on all the platforms. And make sure to join us for our live Twitch stream for the FPL deadline for Game Week 21. It'll be 5 a.m. EST, 1 hour before the FPL deadline closes. We'll be over there discussing my team, and any questions that you bring in the chat, we are more than welcoming over there. So make sure to come and check that out as well. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.